Hey guys, how's it going? This is Lavelle Miller here with the Wide World of Velle podcast. I am doing the UFC 228 post fight show, trying something new here. The audio may be a little different, the visual may be a little different as well, but it's something I'm trying out this time. If it doesn't go well, definitely do something on later. But without further ado, UFC 228 just ended. It was a great card from the main card all the way down to the UFC Fight Pass prelims. There were a lot of finishes, uh, a lot of fun fights, a lot of things that you would be looking forward to. That would get you interested into the next event if you have not ever watched a UFC event before, or you might have a couple of new fighters that you would be looking forward to watching in the future. A couple things of interesting note, um, which we'll cover them when I get to the fights. Two rare knee bar submissions ended up happening. The two fighters that did it, I'll get to those when it happens. And then as well, Tyron Woodley, he did defend his title. We'll get to his fight in just a second here. He did receive his black belt today. Um, so I know he was a long reigning black belt, but yes, he did receive his black belt today. So in regards to the main event, Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till. Tyron Woodley defeated Darren Till by Darce choke in the second round. Um, Tyron Woodley came out putting a pace on Darren Till, doing kind of what I thought he would do based off of my pre-fight show when I was saying he would need to, if he was near the black lines, he would need to blitz, go forward, and then retreat, go backward, or engage, come back, engage, come back, not to let Darren Till keep him behind those black lines because then he would be able to exchange them shots. And because Till, of course, being the bigger guy, would be landing a lot of punches on him, could cause big damaging. Well, Till also, when Tyron went for the clinch twice, was able to stop the takedown. Well, I didn't like what happened in the fight is Dan Mergliotta actually did split him up early within the clinches when Tyron was actually looking for inside and outside trips. When you have to give those things times to actually work out, he didn't allow those to happen. He did break them up early. But going into the second round, Tyron immediately went straight out there, put the pace on Darren Till again, caught him with a big right hand, dropping Darren Till, doing a lot of ground and pound. And all the ground and pound that he was doing, he did not ever gas himself out. When he realized he couldn't get Till out there with the ground and pound, he slowed himself down and, kept advancing, kept the pressure down, didn't give Till enough room to get up, just kept landing the punches over and over and over again, landing a lot of good sharp elbows on the top of the forehead, cutting him good until he ended up setting up the Darce choke submission. And Till didn't recognize the Darce choke was coming. For a lot of you guys, if you do jujitsu or if you wrestled, anytime you want to get up, you want to get an underhook on one of the sides that your body is on. So, like if you're in somebody's half guard, and let's say if your right leg is on the bottom per se, you want that left underhook. That way you can try to get up under that person and get your body up off on that side. Well, when you're doing that and shrimping up, with the Darce choke, if you're trying to escape that way, a person is going to slide their hand under and get it under your neck. Well, if you don't recognize it, like what Darren Till didn't do, because Woodley did it a few times to see what his reaction would be on it, he ended up sliding it under and then being able to cinch it over and then squeeze. And because he was in his half guard, be able to stretch him out completely to be able to get the tap. It was a great performance by Tyron Woodley during the entire time of the fight. Darren Till tried to come out harder in that second round and try to put the offense in, but it did really seem like it was too much too soon for Darren Till at this point. But um, it's a good learning lesson for him. Nice to see what he has coming in the future for him. Tyron Woodley seemed like he's getting the respect he deserves. There was a lot of fans cheering his name during the whole course of the fight, uh, or not necessarily saying his name, but they were saying USA the entire time of the fight. But besides that, it ended in the second round. There's not much it really have to say on top of that. But a highlight that you would see, and this is definitely probably going to look at the knockout for the year, is Jessica Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz with the right hook from hell. If you guys get a chance, um, you'll definitely probably see it somewhere on somebody's Twitter, somebody's Instagram. Um, just a short second clip of that right hand that landed from Jessica Andrade or Carolina. You do not see women who fight at strawweight land and hit that hard. And to be honest, when I had this fight, when I saw this fight, when I did my little DraftKings thing, I was telling people Jessica Andrade was a sure pick to win. I honestly thought that Jessica Andrade would KO Carolina. And I did think it would kind of be in this fashion because Carolina is tough, but she's not going to go to wrestle. She's not going to do anything like that. She's going to want to stay in and trade uh, with her. And so somebody as hard hitting as Jessica, and if Jessica wanted to go for the double legs or anything like that, she'd be able to do it. So that fight ended a little under 2 minutes at 1 minute 58 seconds. If you guys have the chance, definitely go check that out. Fantastic right hand landed by Jessica Andrade. She put it on her from the very get go. Carolina did try to have her moments as well. She could not get it done in the end, but it was definitely Jessica Andrade's coming out party. Her versus Rose would be a great fight that I believe a lot of people would love to want to see. We see here. Then next we go to Zabit Magomed Sharipov versus Brandon Davis. Brandon Davis did take this fight on relatively short notice. Well, it wasn't relatively; it was short notice within a week. Uh, Zabit got him with a modified knee bar. So to pretty much put it in perspective for you guys, what Zabit did is he took Brandon Davis's back. Aljamain Sterling did the same thing. So I'll just kind of cover it right now. So he took his back. He had his hooks in both at the same times. They both were looking for different rear naked chokes, different neck cranks, and it didn't work. Well, what a lot of people do is they stand up because if you stand up because you try to tripod up because you want to try to get the guy um, too much weight forward and then strip them off your head. Well, a lot of people now realize if you reach down, you can grab by their ankle and their Achilles. If you can pull that out, you can actually submit people from there for a knee bar. It puts a lot of pressure on the center of your knee. It sucks. And this was tonight was the first night it was ever done in the UFC. It is done a lot of times at local shows, and you can go ahead and look at that up. It happens all the time, but it happened twice, which is kind of amazing that both times it's happened. But both those guys are Ricardo Almeida trained jiu-jitsu players under Ray Longo and Matt Serra. So it kind of makes sense that both those guys have that in their repertoire. But if any of you guys out there that are jiu-jitsu players, think about that. That might be something that you may want to do when you're on somebody's back and they're trying to stand up. If you're on somebody's back, they're trying to stand up. If you're in seatbelt, if you go from seatbelt and go to double unders, allowing them to stand up, give them a little bit of time, and then if you can reach down, grab one of their legs, and then pull it, you'll be able to submit them. You may not think it should work because it's just like if you were laying down yourself and you were having your legs spread out and you were just stretching, leaning one way for your toes, you feel like there's no pressure there. It does work. Obviously, you've seen two people tap. Cody Stanman's knee looked like it was much destroyed when he was getting up. Matt Serra was yelling to lay him back on the ground when they made him sit in a chair. But a good submission that you'll probably see a lot more people try once they have people's backs and they try to stand up. It's right there for the taking. Jimmy Rivera versus John Dodson. Jimmy Rivera won that fight by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. This fight, pretty much took place in the middle of the octagon. A lot of, sticking and moving. Jimmy Rivera actually, surprisingly, had a lot more speed than what I anticipated to keep up with John Dodson. John Dodson did do um, what he pretty much does. He doesn't use his speed except when it's defensively, which is what he should probably do, is use it to initiate a lot more of his attacks offensively, and it wouldn't give him a lot of these decisions where he's losing these fights. And like, since he's been the bantamweight, this goes back to him alternating back and forth between his wins and losses. This gets Jimmy Rivera back on his right track of wins from coming from that bad KO against Marlon Moraes. John Dodson is now back trying to figure out what he needs to do next. Another contender for knockout of the year was Abdul Rakazan Alashan versus Nico Price, 43 seconds into the first round with that left hook from hell, catching Nico Price in the middle of exchange. Came out, me put it on him as well. Caught him with that left. Left means death, and that's all I can say. He has had 10 wins. All 10 wins have came by knockout in the first round. So he's probably going to fight a top 10 guy next time he fights. It's interesting to see where you kind of match him up at. I really want to see what his skill set is. What else does he have? What else can he offer? Due to the fact that we haven't seen him outside the first round, we haven't seen him have to offer anything else because of the fact he packs so much power in his hands. So that pretty much covers the main card. I want to kind of make this a little bit shorter than what I typically do on these. Want to just go ahead and get to some of these other things because there are some interesting things that did happen. Tatiana Suarez for Carla Esparza. Fight Metrics did state that Carla Esparza unofficially landed no significant strikes during the entire fight against Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana Suarez pretty much took her down every single round when she got her down. Just dominated her until the ref finally stepped in at the end of the third round and got that done for her. Like I said, Aljamain started fought Cody Stamann, and him and Cody were kind of going at it a little bit in the beginning of the first round. Aljo ended up turning the corner, putting it on him, and ended up getting it done with that modified EFR once he took his back. Jeff Neal, another good guy with a fantastic knockout of the year candidate, was the left high kick he caught Frank Camacho with when he ducked his head in. So there was a lot of good first round. I mean, not first round KOs, but knockout of the year candidates there as well. And let's see here. I'm gonna look at this chat thing real fast and see here. John Kosnick says Tatiana is a problem, but Andrade may be a bigger problem. I would definitely agree with that as well. Because Tatiana does have a lot of good wrestling, and but Rose has a lot of good jujitsu. So I believe she wouldn't have a problem being off her back, but Andrade has a lot of good power wrestling, and she has a lot of good power. And I don't think Rose will be able to take those shots either. Because if you look at it, like her and Carolina are like pretty much the exact same size. So yeah, I agree with you. Andrade will definitely be a bigger problem. But Tatiana is an animal. A surprising event was Darren Silver versus Charles Bird. Charles Bird was a bigger favorite on the card. He was having his way kind of a little bit with Darren Stewart. He ended up rocking him in the second round. It was looking like it was going his way, and then he ended up making one mistake. Darren Stewart caught him. Darren Stewart put it on him. Charles kept turning his back to him. When you do that, what happens? The ref steps in and ends the fight for you. On the UFC Fight Pass, I will uh, quickly just say this about a couple of these fighters. Two fighters went ahead and turned the clock. Diego Sanchez and Jim Miller, both guys who have been coming off of some bad losses as of late, both ended up beating two young and up and comers. Jim Miller beat Alex White by first round rear naked choke. He before he even did that, he dropped Alex White with a good combination and put him down. That was a great showing by Jim Miller. I did not think Jim Miller was going to be able to drop anybody. I mean, he had just lost his last few 5 fights. Yeah, 5 fights, and I think he had been finished 4 out of the 5 by strikes, something like that. And Diego Sanchez just came off of that loss to Matt Brown with that elbow, if you guys remember that. And he took down Craig White and just mopped the floor with him. I'm surprised he didn't get any 10-8s. But that's pretty much it for that. Jared Brooks, the monkey guy, got the monkey off his back. Finally got his first win in the UFC. Uh, let's see here, David Kirkwood. Let me see what he says. I want to give everybody a shout out who took the time to drop a little note in the chat. Zabit versus Ortega. That'd be a great fight. Um, how would that go? I think I really want to see how much Brian Ortega really does have in his stand-up department. Was it, Frankie Edgar's mistake that he didn't expect to get caught in with that stepping elbow that ended up doing it for him? Or is it really he's been working on it so well because his ground game is so much better than a lot of people that he's just always good at stand up. He didn't have to worry about it. That be a definitely great fight to actually see how it works out. Zabit actually did call out Chad Mendez, so I don't know how you guys feel about that. Maybe you guys want to see Chad Mendez versus Zabit. You know, kind of like a little grappling match there. I think Zabit would use it as a way to up his stock a little bit, but definitely worth checking out. McGregor versus Woodley at 160 pounds ain't happening because Tyron Woodley is not going to ever weigh 160 pounds for the fact that he is 36 years old now. But pretty much, this is really it for me. Just kind of make it a little short and sweet in regards to the things. There's a lot of quick finishes when it came to the main card, so there wasn't a lot of stuff to really break down within the main card. But I want to make sure I bring this out there again. I do DraftKings suggestions, and I can also be a man and admit that some things I'm wrong on. Like I was wrong on Nico Price. I like Nico Price for his price, but he got finished in 43 seconds, so he screwed me. And out of the suggestions, let's see here. I believe actually, out of pricing wise, I think he's the only one I really suggested that screwed for in regards to pricing. My sure picks, Jessica Andrade and to beat both won and finished, scored over 100 points. My sleeper pick, I picked Diego Sanchez, and he won. He didn't score 100 points, but he scored 80 something points. But he was valued for his pick. He was valued about, I think, like 73 or 7,300 or 7,400 or something like that. So if you guys do play DraftKings, I will be doing this moving forward. Like and subscribe down below. I definitely appreciate that. Anybody who does do that for me. So helps me get to where I'm going to get to, helps give you guys another outlet to look at to get your MMA opinions on and news. And especially if you guys, like I said, do DraftKings, because you may not think about a certain fighter. And I want to definitely help you guys achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve. So thank you all who took the time to check out my stream tonight. This was great that this was in Dallas, Texas, because it was in Dallas, Texas, to Central Time Zone, like I am in, because I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. So it's not too late at all. So I might hop on some Players Unknown Battleground. Uh, you guys can also catch information from me on my Instagram or Twitter at 37 Mode. The word 30, number 7, Mode, MODE. So once again, thank you guys for checking me out. This is how you become legendary and greatness is earned.